before giving the floor to the European Commission, I would just like to give a couple of words on what is the Investors Dialogue on Energy. The Investors Dialogue on Energy is a structured multi-level stakeholder dialogue that was launched by the European Commission in 2022 to provide inputs and gather expertise from market players, intended as energy companies, investors, and associations in the field of energy on new and improved financial instruments and mechanisms to achieve the objectives of the Green Deal and Repower EU. It is structured around 5 working groups, each one focused on a different segment of the energy value chain. So we have energy production, transmission, distribution, energy storage, heating and cooling, and services and prosumers. And the objectives are, as I was mentioning, to analyze investments, investment support schemes, identify barriers to investments, and provide recommendation and best practices for new and improved financial instruments. How do we do that? We do that through a series of reports and studies. So a first run of studies on current financial instruments for energy and their effectiveness in addressing barriers to investments is already available on our website. A new series of reports on recommendations for new and improved financial instruments is about to be published soon. In addition to that, we also have a monthly newsletter that I invite you all to register from the website. We have annual plenary meetings, usually held in January or February. We have webinars like this one, and we have recurring working group meetings that are reserved only for working group members, where, as I was saying, we discuss different types of topics that then feed into the studies and reports that we produced. So I will invite you all to check out the website and register to the newsletter to be to keep updated on all our activities. That being said, I would like also to invite Anna Porumbrica from the European Commission, DG ENER, to give some opening remarks for the webinar.
Grazie.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. From the part of the European Commission, I wanted to welcome you. My name is Anna Porumbrica. I'm part of the Chief Economist team that is coordinating Investors Dialogue Initiative per Total. I'm delighted to introduce this important discussion, which brings together key stakeholders from the energy sector, industry, and finance to explore the opportunities and challenges of the emerging hydrogen market. The European Union has set ambitious targets to become carbon neutral by 2050, and hydrogen plays a crucial role in helping us achieve this goal. The new hydrogen mechanism, which will be discussed in detail today, is a key element of EU's hydrogen strategy, aiming to support the development of a European hydrogen market and facilitate investments in hydrogen production, transport, and storage. I wish you all a productive and engaging webinar. I encourage you to participate and to ask questions. We will make sure that we have time for Q&A. And thank you again for joining, and let's get started.
Thanks a lot, Anna. And then I would invite Maciej and Clément to take the floor. And just let me know when you want me to go to the next slide.
Sure. Good morning. Thanks, Giovanni. Thanks, Anna. Can you hear us well?
Yes.
Great. This is a good start. Welcome also from our side. My name is Maciej Ciszewski. I am the head of unit responsible for the EU Energy and Raw Materials platform. And we are very happy to present to you today the new mechanism, which we launched last week. I'm accompanied here by the great team, Clément, Gerthoffert, who is leading the project on hydrogen. Also Mathilde and Lesia and Alexander from our team who are responsible for launching the new hydrogen mechanism. So first, to give you the context, hydrogen mechanism is a new kid on the block. We have just launched the registrations last week. It is part of the EU Energy and Raw Materials platform. And as you can see from the next slide, it is the first mechanism that we are launching, but it's not the only one. So we start with the hydrogen and derivatives mechanism. We will tell you more about it in the next 10 minutes. Later this year, we will be also launching the second mechanism, which is a raw materials mechanism. And finally, in the first half of 2026, we will be launching a gas mechanism, mostly focusing on biomethane, but not only limited to biomethane. So we are really starting today's meeting is very timely. So now moving to what the hydrogen mechanism is about. So to really present it in a short form, Clément will then tell you a bit more about the mechanism, how the mechanism looks like, how to register to it, which exact features it has. But in short, the hydrogen mechanism is already an online platform driven by three considerations. First, we are connecting European demand with European and international supply. This is the first main feature of the mechanism. The second one is we will be supporting and informing development of infrastructure for hydrogen and hydrogen derivatives. You will be able to use our mechanism to run non-binding tests of upcoming infrastructure. Third, as you know, in hydrogen markets, renewable and low carbon, there is a financial challenge. So linking with financial support, with financial products is also something we will offer on our mechanism. This way, the matched parties will be able to discuss directly with the financial partners of the platform. An important caveat, when we say hydrogen or hydrogen and derivatives, what do we really mean? So first, in terms of products, we mean hydrogen in its pure form, different types of hydrogen, but also derivatives of hydrogen. So ammonia, methanol, eSAF. This is what is currently on offer, but we are considering also adding other products which are derivatives of hydrogen. We are, of course, supporting decarbonization and hydrogen's role in that. So we are talking about renewable hydrogen, but not only renewable hydrogen and derivatives. We are also open to low carbon solutions. And this is very timely. As you may have seen, yesterday the Commission has adopted the delegated act on low carbon. So at this moment, we provide, hopefully, more clarity and more regulatory certainty on what low carbon hydrogen and derivatives are. Don't ask us today exactly about the details of the delegated act. It's all fresh. It's from last night. But there is more to come, and we are very happy that this important milestone is achieved. It will help, hopefully, the users of our mechanism to join the platform and also provide or look for low-carbon solutions along the renewable hydrogen. So now, next slide, please. As I mentioned, the hydrogen and derivatives, on the demand side, we are looking on for European off-takers. We are collecting the demand, providing a platform to place demand, future demand for renewable and low-carbon hydrogen in Europe. The off-takers should be companies who are functioning on the European market, European Union, but also energy community. Now, with whom can we connect? I think someone is not muted. Thanks. So now, moving to the supply side, who is also very much welcome on the platform. Here we are completely open to any supplier, both in the Energy Union and internationally. So the supply offers can be placed in response to the demand offers by third parties, by companies active internationally. The only limitation on the supply side will be supplies originating from Russia and Belarus, which will not be allowed on the platform. Otherwise, all other reliable suppliers of hydrogen and derivatives can show their interest in the European demand on our platform. Now, moving to infrastructure. For those of you familiar with the hydrogen market uptake, infrastructure is a big challenge, but also a key factor for success to make sure that hydrogen ecosystem is picking up. We are partnering and discussing closely with the operators and promoters of infrastructure on hydrogen, and these entities will be very much welcome on our platform to test interest in their infrastructure. Also, we are working very closely with the European Commission instruments which are supporting hydrogen infrastructure, and the information that we collect on where the demand, where the supply is, where infrastructure is missing, we will be sharing with them to make sure that we all support development of hydrogen infrastructure where it is mostly needed. Now, we are moving to the financial institutions, which will be a very important actor. I see that some of the financial institutions are connected today. And here I pass the floor to Clément, who will tell you a bit more what will be the role of financial institutions on the hydrogen mechanism. Clément, please.
Yes, thank you, Maciej, and good morning, everyone. Indeed, financial institutions can also participate to the hydrogen mechanism, meaning they can create an account and they can display their financial products to the off-takers and suppliers which are registered on the platform. Our constraint here is quite small, is that whatever you display as a financial institution on the platform needs to be publicly available elsewhere on the internet, so namely on your website. And if a financial institution is registering, displaying its product, then it will also be able to consult the results of the call for interest whenever the participant gave their consent. It will be a way for the financial institutions registered on the platform to engage with potential clients to support their project. And in a few minutes, we will show how they can register to the tool. But now we've covered in the previous slide who will be able to register and participate. We can move now to the next slide as to what you can expect after registration. As we said, the core of the mechanism is about the collection of demand and supply. Very importantly, you will not be able, as a registered participant, to place your demand and supply at any time. You will have to do it as part of a round organized by the Commission. We will organize different types of rounds at different moments. You see them on the screen in high-level description. We are speaking about call for supply interest, call for demand interest, and infrastructure market testing. In the call for supply interest, we will first invite the European off-takers to submit their demand request, which will be published on the platform, and then the European and global suppliers will be invited to express their interest into this demand request. The call for demand will be the exact opposite. We will first invite the suppliers to place information about available capacities that they have, and European off-takers will be invited to react. And the infrastructure market testing is slightly different. We will there partner with an infrastructure developer that would like to use the H2 mechanism to test interest into an infrastructure asset, a pipeline, a storage facility, a terminal, and in which case we will deploy the tool to test this interest. Two key elements here. The first round is planned for September, and you need to register to participate. So it's really important to go through this process that we've tried to keep as light as possible, and I will explain a bit more in a few moments. Now, more details on the next slide on the call for supply interest to get you a better flavor, a better sense of what you will have to do after registration. Three key moments: submission of demand request, publication, expression of interest by supplier. The first moment there will be the off-takers are invited to submit their demand request, outlining the project that will consume the volume, the product they need, the volume, their delivery and transport consideration, their contracting and pricing preferences, which will be optional at this stage. They will have to do it within a window of 2 to 3 weeks, meaning the tool will stay open for sufficient time to allow these participants to place their demand request. Then this will be closed and published on the platform for registered supplier to be able to see, which is when, again, during 2 to 3 weeks, these suppliers will be able to express their interest in respect of a single demand, but also of an aggregation of demand. And here we have built features that will allow suppliers to aggregate themselves several demands that they see could be interesting. For example, the supplier will be able to aggregate all of the demands for low carbon ammonia being delivered at the port of Rotterdam. I see we may have an issue with the slide. Should I continue, Giovanni?
Yes, just checking with the other participants if they can see the slides.
Yes.
Okay, then yes,
Okay.
Okay, let's continue.
Perfect, thank you. A set of clarifications here as well. The results and the data that is shared on the platform is staying on the platform. This will not be made public. We will make public some aggregated results, preserving, of course, your anonymity. So the key purpose here is to serve and to add value to the industrial players. It's not for this to become public datasets. And the Commission is not involved into the negotiations that you may or may not decide to have outside of the hydrogen mechanism with your counterpart. I will just wait for the... Thank you. Now on to the next step for you on the next slide before we go on to do a short demo. Already today, you can start your registration on the EU Energy and Raw Materials platform, and we will show you how in a few minutes. And you can subscribe to be a participant to the H2 mechanism or to be a participant as a financial institution. If you register over the summer, you will be validated by the operators on the Commission side, and you will receive access to certain features, including the possibility to invite more users from your company. You will also receive updates about the upcoming first round and when new features are being deployed. And then in September, the exact date is still to be confirmed, you will be able, if you register, to participate to the first round of the H2 mechanism. You have to register to participate. If you register, you are not forced to participate. You can still opt out, of course. And of course, it is completely free of charge. So our recommendation is really to register early so that you can be sure to be approved on time, that you can stay informed, and then you can decide what you want to do with the tool. It is an additional avenue. It's purely voluntary, and it's really built to be useful to you. And now, if we move to the next part of the presentation, we will showcase a bit more what we are developing. How to register, it's already live. You can already today, and so I will briefly take you through the various steps. And the preview of the hydrogen mechanism that we will show, it's still in a prototype version, still being developed. So for this, you will have to wait a bit longer until September. On the next slide, you see the main actions that you will need to perform to register. 4 main ones. First, you need to appoint an administrator user. More on this in a minute. This administrator user will need to create an EU logging account linked to their professional email address. It's very important that the EU logging account used are linked to the professional email address. The administrator user will need to sign a power of attorney, confirming that it has the relevant power to register the company and act on its behalf, also providing an extract of the commercial register. And also they will need to sign a declaration on honor, which is quite high-level confirmation that you agree with the concept behind the platform and that you want to use it with a genuine interest, that you are not sanctioned, that you are not undergoing bankruptcy, and that you will agree to the terms and conditions as well. These 2 documents, very importantly, they need to be signed using a qualified electronic signature. On this, please note that we won't go too much into the detail of these various elements, but we've recorded a registration tutorial. We will put the link in the chat. And so the company representative that will register your company will be able to go through a step-by-step video to really guide them throughout the registration process. But still an additional word on the administrator user on the next slide, which is quite an important concept. The administrator user is the single employee that is registering the participant and has exclusive right to then manage the subscription. But then plenty of your colleagues will be able to participate, but as users. And the administrator user will be able, after registration, to invite more users to participate to the tool. That's for the key concept. And now, if you'll allow me, Giovanni, I will share my screen and start a short demo. Coming up, perfect. This is already, you can already access it. We will put the link in the chat, and we'll also put the link in the chat to the registration tutorial where you have even more details. But basically, to register, it's a 5 steps process that you see on the screen. You will need to go through these 5, and you also have the possibility to download templates of the document that needs to be provided. It's quite straightforward. Information about your organization, legal name, country of establishment, national registration number, company address, You can provide information about your credit ratings if you have some, but it's fully optional, and an extract of the commercial register. When this is done, you need to provide information about the administrator user, so the person that will really manage the account for the company, job, title, and department, phone number, the power of attorney that we briefly mentioned, and in certain circumstances, an ID document, but that's only if you are not able to sign using a qualified electronic signature. You will then have to decide for which mechanism you want to subscribe. As of now, you can only subscribe to the hydrogen mechanism. So if you are a hydrogen stakeholder, that's the one for you, and that's where you will upload the declaration on ENER. Now, if you are willing to participate as a financial institution, you have a dedicated subscription for you, which you can find here. You have a slightly different declaration on ENER, and you will have to say what type of financial institution you are and whether you have an entity ID code published by the European Central Bank. Plenty of information about this is available in the user guide, including to help you find this code in case you are not familiar with it, but our expectations are that this is something quite common for you in your various institutions. Once you've gone through these steps, you will have a short summary. You need to agree to the terms and conditions and the privacy policy, and then you can submit your registration. Once this is submitted, then this comes over to us, and we will perform a validation of the information submitted. We may contact you for some correction or for additional information. This will take a few days, but our objective is really to manage these validations as they come, which is also why we are really recommending you to start them early so that you can be sure that you are validated on time. Now, this is what you can already do. What I will show you now is what you will gain access to if you are registered and validated in September. That is the prototype version of the hydrogen mechanism, which is evolving every day as we speak. You will gain access in September to a dashboard of upcoming rounds. Here you see, for example, an example of a call for demand interest that is ongoing. You will be able to click on this item. You will have more information about the timing and the content of the round to help you decide whether or not you want to participate. And if you do want to participate, you will be able to add your submission here, meaning you will have access to a structured form, which will be categorized about project information, product and volume, delivery and transport, contracting and pricing, and of course, your contact information. For the project, you will be able to provide, of course, the name, the type. You will be able to say where you stand on the status, if you are feasibility study or post-feasibility study, if you have progressed in the securing your permits, if you received some support from grant subsidies program from the EU or not. And then, of course, crucially, you will be invited to decide for which product you are placing submission. You can do several submissions in case you are interested into several products. So I see it's not opening on the shared. And then you will also fill in the profile. By profile, we mean the amount that you will want to place per year. You don't have to fill every year. You can fill only some of those, but you can do it all the way up to 2050. One thing that is crucial here is that, of course, we are matching, in most cases, consumption and production of volumes which are not yet in existence. We are talking about long-term matching. Some information about how you would like the product to be delivered to you or how you are willing to deliver it if you are a supplier, and some information optionally on contracting and pricing. We invite you to fill it out, but we know this is sensitive, so in the first round, you won't have to fill it out necessarily. You can then save it, and it will be published when we close this 2 to 3 week submission window that we mentioned earlier. Once this is done, you can sit back and wait for the potential counterparts to come online to have access to the call for interest. So if you acted as an off-taker, it's when the suppliers are coming in, and they will be able to see on the map all of the demand requests which have been published. They will be able to play also with the data to filter out those which are not relevant. If you only want to see a renewable hydrogen producer a renewable hydrogen demand survey in Spain, you will be able to filter everything that is not meeting these criteria. And they will also be able to aggregate several demand requests or several supply offers to create a larger block for which they can express their interest. When we say expressing interest, what we mean is, again, submitting a similar counter offer, which will be compared to the one that was submitted in the first place. So the participant will then receive all of the offers that were collected based on their demand request or supply offer that was first placed. As we said, the results are staying on the platform. They're not made public. It's really then for the counterpart to decide whether or not they want to engage on the basis of what they've received to the platform, but outside the platform. That is for a short preview. And then we can go back to the final slide for just some useful links and some other considerations. Just waiting for, if you don't mind putting the last slide back online. Perfect, thank you. All right, and here you can already have the right links to play with what we've said, the link to the energy platform where you can register, and the link to the tutorial if you want even more details about how to register. This, I recommend that you send it to the colleagues that will register your company, if not you, of course, and you will be able to see as of the minute 21 exactly a step-by-step approach explaining what's in each of the documents, which I think will be very relevant information for this process for you. And with this,
Thank you, Clément. I think there's one message of all this. There are actually two messages. First one is we are creating this for the industry and with the industry. So your comments are more than welcome. So please do prepare them now, but you can also contact us after today's seminar. The second message is it is very much live already functioning. The registration process started. So please use the links. Please try to register. Please try to navigate it.